Welcome back to West Virginia. It's a good day for Fallout 76. Today's patch seems to have been a solid one, with a huge amount of bug fixes and new features. Also, Bethesda seems to have heard the outcry from last week's suspect patch notes rollout, and seems to have gone full ham on these ones.
And there was much rejoicing.
Obviously, today is just the PC patch, but you should see it on consoles very soon. Also, a lot of smaller fixes I'm just going to skip over, but I'll highlight some of the interesting ones as we progress down the list. But we have a lot to touch on, so let's get right into our look at patch 1.0.3.10. Okay, so normally when I do these videos, I will write out a little script so I know exactly what to say. There's no pauses or awkwardness, but this patch is so massive and I really want to get right into the video. I'm just basically going to read down the list of the patch notes. I played about 2 hours today just to test it all out, so we'll actually have some footage of some of these changes in the game. But let's go right to it. The first big feature is obviously the camp, crafting, and workshop changes. So you'll see the full patch notes on the screen here. There'll also be a link to everything in the description down below, but I'm going to highlight some of the major changes. Rocks, small trees, and other small objects no longer prevent players from building items in these locations. As you can see in the footage that should be on the screen right now, I've tested that. It does work. So there you go. That's a good start. They just seem to vanish. They blip out, so that's cool. It also says placing an object to remove an obstruction, and then removing that object will cause the obstruction to reappear. I guess if you wanted like some rocks to vanish, I'm not sure, but there you go. Now the big one, and this was a big issue for me. I'm sure some of you saw the video I made of my cool house. I had that house for about 3 days and then it disappeared, and then I could never really put it back down because there's so many bugs with the blueprint system. Now you'll get a notification that will be displayed to players upon logging into the world if their current camp location is occupied by someone else. If you choose to remain in that world, you can replace your camp in a new location for free, as always. Or if you don't want to do that, you can join a new world later on and your camp will automatically be placed back in its original location as long as that spot is unoccupied. So what that means is you log in, someone's in your favorite spot, instead of having to move your base like it forced you to before, you could say, nah, I'm good, and you can either just continue playing and the next time you log in your base will be back, or you can immediately hop servers and plop your base back, or not even plop it, it'll just reappear in its original spot. So that's fantastic. That's a massive fix, because I know a lot of people like to build their bases in very central locations. I always build around the edges, but still it's not 100% guaranteed. But if you're building in the middle of the map, there's a much higher percentage chance you're gonna lose your base. Now you can server hop and it's not such a big issue. A few more other minor changes with the camp system. The percentage of the camp's budget that has been taken up by stored items and blueprints will now appear on the budget bar, so you can see that strange percentage bar on the screen. I'm not 100% sure what it means. I didn't really quite look at it, but there it is. Also some minor quality of life changes. Windmills have their power increased from 3 to 12, so that's cool. If you want windmills,
learn the windmill to transition into even more difficult dance techniques.
Players can also now purchase Atom Shop items directly from the workshop menu. You don't have to hop back to the Atom Shop. That's fine. I mean, I do use a lot of the Atom Shop stuff, but I was fine working around it, but that's cool. It's something we didn't really ask for, but I don't think anyone's going to be upset with. And of course, the biggest change in the patch, probably the biggest change in Fallout 76 to date, you can now place wind chimes properly. Thank you, Bethesda. Congratulations! The second biggest feature in this patch has to be the respecking ability. So let's take a look at that. Every time a player levels up after level 50, they can now choose whether to unlock a new perk card or transfer one previously allocated special point from one category to another. I did level up in the video. You can see it here. So what happens is you level up and you decide, no perk card, I want to move a point. So you pick the special stat that you want to remove the point from first, and then you pick the special stat that you want to put it into. So you see I removed one from endurance and I put it into luck. It's as simple as that, and it's great. Now let's look at some of the big changes in interface. These aren't as big as the first two, but they're still quite large and something people have been asking for since the beta. The biggest one has to be push to talk. It's in the game now. I've bound it. I haven't used it yet, but it's there. So that's great. I can actually talk to people now for the first time in forever. Joe has always had his like area mic on, but I don't want people to hear me narrating videos to myself. I'm shy. So here we go. We have push to talk finally. There's also a depth of field setting. Also one I've been kind of looking forward to. I've gotten used to depth of field in the game, but it'll be nice to not have my eyes water at certain points in the game. So there it is. And the field of view setting, something I don't really need, but I might play with a bit. But a lot of people like just, you know, people have different eyes. People see things differently, and some people need a field of view at a different setting to not feel nauseous and be able to play the game. So that's in there. There's also 21:9 resolution support. I can't do that, but if you have the monitor for it, there you go. 21:9 resolution support is apparently in the game. There's been some minor complaints that it just might stretch it, but that might have just been that one person. I guess we shall see. Some other UI changes. There was a lot of complaints about the AFK timer that was set to 10 minutes in the last patch. It's been bumped to 30 minutes. There you go. There's the fix there. There's been a lot of changes to the Atom Shop, or the Atomic Shop, whatever it's called. There were a lot of bugs with it. It seems to have been cleaned up a bit. There's also like new icons for the stuff that are available. Overall, I like the Atom Shop. I think it's a cool idea. It's obviously a cash grab, but you know what? Hey, games are here to make money, and as long as there's no loot boxes, I'm cool. Some balance changes. Apparently 308 ammo is dropping a bit too much. That has been reduced. Also, super mutants will drop gunpowder half as often, and the chance for additional loot has been reduced. Caps are guaranteed loot on super mutants until level 16. I tested this for both gunpowder and caps. As you can see, the mutants I looted did not always have caps, and they did not always have gunpowder, so they spaced that out. And finally, the Scorched Beast Queen will now land on the ground more often during the encounter, which is great if you're melee. Next we have just a lot of stability and performance bug fixes. I'm not really going to touch on any of them, but here they are. Like I said, you can go over them in the notes linked below. A lot of them are just to fix like hitches and crashes. They're just, you know, general maintenance that we seem to need. So that's great. More stability, less crashing, less stuttering. No arguments there. More notes on camps, workshops, and crafting. There was an issue when you're trying to place a blueprint. You'd always get this error. Cannot place an item, select item is floating. Apparently it's been cleaned up. I tried to place my old blueprint down, it wouldn't let me. Maybe this is something to do with old blueprints, I don't know. Maybe my blueprint was just bad, but they said they fixed it, so I'm gonna rebuild my house anyways, and we'll see how that goes in the future. They fixed a few exploits with camping, duping exploits, and exploits that would enable unlimited item storage. The duping exploit wasn't really an exploit, it was a bug. I'm not even sure how it even started, but I would often like move my base and find out I had 9 water purifiers built somehow. I did not do that on purpose, and I'd have to destroy them all. A lot of people have also found this, so I'm glad it's gone. I guess it's good they've removed that. Also another minor workshop change, but it's been a long time coming. After doing the powering up the power plant event at any of the power plants, the power boxes at the plant will now correctly produce 400 power, and the power boxes surrounding the workshops should produce 100 power. So that's, you know, you don't have to build 10 power generators to get the fusion core generator working if for some reason you even want those workshops anymore. So at least that's one positive change. There's some fixes to the enemies. The ones I'm going to point out are the Mirelurk Queen. The acid attack no longer deals more damage than intended. Mirelurk Queen seemed to just hit like a truck. I would often have to go through like 10 to 15 stimpaks just to drop her. Also, the Scorched Beast in the glass cavern can no longer fly through the walls. That was an annoying bug. Was this a mistake, Joe? Should we not have brought them here?
It was your idea. This is all your idea.
You could have said that's a bad idea, but I guess did create some sort of unintentional XP farming abilities. But they've cleaned that up. That's done. Okay, bug fixes under items. Fix an issue causing bobbleheads and magazines to spawn at a lower rate than intended. These items should appear 16% more often. Cool. Here's a big, long-standing exploit where you could unequip and re-equip pocketed armor to increase your carrying capacity to basically unlimited levels. That's been fixed. That's good. Exploits need to go. I know a lot of people have been living off this, but sorry. You gotta pay the piper. Another one that we actually did a video on, and I warned people about that it would change. You can no longer transfer more than one fusion core onto power armor, as you can see in the clip here. It doesn't stick, it just pops it back in your inventory, so one more exploit gone. And apparently there was an issue or a bug with mutations. I remember some people complaining about this. I've never had the issue before when purchasing the serums from that certain vendor. They wouldn't apply properly, so apparently that has been fixed. Not in the patch notes, and something that was subject to a fairly popular video we did about the weight issue, where your carrying capacity would reset and you had to unequip all your armor and your perks when you logged off and equipped them back on when you logged out back in. Apparently that's been fixed. I tested it myself. I logged out, logged back in, and it seemed to be steady. So one more bug fix. There was a bunch of changes to some certain quests. Not really touch on them. Sure, you can look through the notes and see if they inspire you to do these quests. Two ones of note: personal matters fix several issues that would prevent Evan from spawning correctly. That's a good fix. Now, this is the biggest complaint about this patch, and it's a bug fix, and it's based on the Feed the People quest in, I can't remember where this is. I think it's near Morgantown. I think it's in Morgantown. But basically you do the quest, and once you finished it, everyone on the server will get 5 cans of meat stew. Apparently it was only intended for the people who did the quest to get those, but a lot of people are saying, you know, put it back to the way it was. We kind of liked, it's called Feed the People. So, you know, let us do the quest and everyone on the server gets fed. Let's feed the people, not just some of the people. So, I mean, I don't have an opinion. It's very cool to get the free canned meat stew because it gives you plus 5% XP bonus. But, you know, maybe they'll give us some goodwill and go back and fix that.
Please, sir, I want some more. What?
Now, perks. There's some big changes in the perks, most of them positive, some of them kind of nerfs, I think. Probably the biggest nerf to me personally is Critical Savi. What Critical Savi did was reduce the cost of doing crits. So basically, originally, you could have a 60% crit meter and still do a crit because Crit Savi meant you only needed 55%. I guess the intention was you still needed a full crit bar to do the crit and it would only use up 55% of it. So now, it no longer allows the player to use a critical strike if the critical meter is not completely filled. So this is kind of a nerf to Crit Savi, but I played, like I said, 2 hours a day, and you kind of work around it. I don't feel quite as murderous as I used to be, but I'll deal with it. Now, some positive changes are to the abilities Fix It Good and Weapon Artisan. These are abilities that would allow you to repair guns and armor well above their normal durability. You'd see like a little white bar on there, which meant they were, I think, up to 200% durability. Now, they didn't work. It showed the bar, but they'd only last a couple hits and then it'll go away. This has been fixed now, and I've tested it. I repaired my items, some of my items as I started my adventuring today, and then I checked my armor when I logged out and it was still like at 180%, so that's fantastic. I'm glad these work. Repairing items is a big deal, so being able to use these perks is going to help a ton. Some changes to PvP. I'm level 109, still haven't PvP'd in the game, but there's the notes if you are interested in seeing what they are. Also, another long coming fix has been put in, and that's with the social menu. Very often my friends would log in and I would be in the game and they'd be like, I can't see you on the social menu. Apparently it's been changed, those bugs have been fixed, and other cleanup has been done on the social menu, so good to get that done finally. And finally, there were some bug fixes with sound and with the UI. Most of them are minor. I'm not going to really get into them. You can read them at your leisure, but like I said, it's been a great patch for just fixing little things and big things. And that's the end of the patch notes as I'm reading them. So overall, what are my thoughts on this patch? It's great. It's a great step in the right direction for Bethesda after last week. Last week had some good stuff, but the sneaky patch notes and the big bug with the weight, it's nice to see them get off a clean patch with some big things that they've been promising for a long time, and then a ton of little fixes. There's still some big issues they've got to fix. Bugs with explosive weapons, the phantom weight thing. If you don't know what the phantom weight thing is, here's a little clip in the video where I accidentally picked up 22 frag grenades that did not go into my inventory, but the weight's there. I'm going to actually maybe do a quick video later on just to see how much weight I'm carrying, and hopefully we can get, you know, I'm sure Bethesda knows about this, but let's get them looking at this, because this could be a big issue as the game goes by, when people realize they're secretly carrying 40 pounds of grenades and missiles that they are unaware of. Also, people want the ability to see plans that they already have when they go shopping. I want that too. I'm kind of getting scared because I've got quite a few. And of course, probably the biggest one at this point is the ability to rejoin the last server you were on. Now today, Bethesda also said they want to do one more patch before the end of the year, probably next week. It's probably more bug fixes, so hopefully maybe the phantom weight bug is going to be in there. Maybe some of the other long-standing damage bugs will be in there as well. Probably no more big features for the end of the year, but it's good to clean all this stuff up and then start worrying about actual content and things to do. But for now, I'm really happy, and it seems like the community's happy. If you go under the Fallout 76 Reddit today, the front page is either talking about how they want the Mama Dolce's quest reverted back to normal. That's the biggest complaint, was an actual bug fix. And then just a lot of people just saying, good job Bethesda. So if you're from Bethesda and you're watching this, pat yourself on the back. You guys did a great patch today.
You did it! Congratulations!
And we're hoping for more of this in the future. Now, of course, if any of you come across like new bugs like ended up happening last week, just let us know in the comments. We'll talk about them. It seems like it's been a few hours. Nothing's really popped up on Reddit, so hopefully it's a good one. I guess we shall see. But that's it for now. This has been Josh from 1047. If you enjoyed this video, please, you know what? You can like it. You don't have to. But the main thing is, I love when people sub. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like you want to be part of what we're doing here. I know we're a very small channel. We're not the best Fallout 76 channel, but we're very enthusiastic about the game. We're having fun, and we're trying to do some stuff. So, happy patch day, and we'll see you out there.